Welcome student to my YouTube channel Bharat Chem Study. Today we are going to study about chapter 4 chemical bonding and molecular structure for plus 1 class. In this video part 6 we are going to study about the concept of hybridization with examples. So let's start with the topics. According to valence bond approach, s orbital can overlap with s orbital easily because of same energy, and p orbitals can overlap easily with p orbitals because of same energy. But when a p orbital of one atom is going to overlap with the s orbital of the other atom, there comes a problem due to their energy difference. Similarly, when a p orbital or d orbital of one atom is going to overlap with the s or p orbital of the other atom, due to energy difference between them, there comes a problem. So this problem can be solved by the intermixing of atomic orbitals so as to give new orbitals of same energy and shape which can overlap with s orbital or p orbital or d orbital of the other atoms. So this intermixing of the orbitals of slightly different energy so as to redistribute their energies and to give new set of orbitals of equivalent energies and shape is called hybridization. Note, the new orbital forms as a result of hybridization are called hybrid or hybridized orbitals. They have same energy as well as same shape. Now, characteristic of hybridization. First, only orbitals of similar energies belonging to the same central atom can hybridize together. Means only the orbitals of central atom which have same value of n, that is they belong to same shell, will be intermixed to undergo hybridization. Second point, the orbitals that participate in hybridization should have only small energy difference. For example, 2s and 2p orbitals have almost same energy, so they can participate in hybridization, but not 1s, because the energy of 1s is entirely different from 2s and 2p. And secondly, because 2s and 2p belong to the same shell, therefore they can undergo hybridization. In the same way, only 3s, 3p and 3d orbital can be intermixed together or to undergo hybridization because they belong to same shell and have almost same energies. Third, the number of hybrid orbital produced is equal to the number of orbitals undergoing hybridization. मतलब कि जितने ऑर्बिटल्स को हम आपस में इंटरमिक्स करेंगे उतने ही नए हमें हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल मिलेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हम 3 ऑर्बिटल्स को आपस में इंटरमिक्स करते हैं तो हमें 3 ही नए हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल मिलेंगे. अगर हम 4 ऑर्बिटल्स को आपस में इंटरमिक्स करते हैं तो हमें 4 ही नए हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल मिलेंगे. एंड द हाइब्रिड बॉन्ड्स आर स्ट्रॉन्गर देन सिंगल नॉन हाइब्रिडाइज्ड बॉन्ड फॉर कंपेरेबल एनर्जी. मतलब जो बॉन्ड हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल बनाएंगे वो ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग होंगे एज कंपेयर टू जो बॉन्ड अनहाइब्रिडाइज्ड ऑर्बिटल बनाएंगे. फोर्थ पॉइंट, hybridization never take place in isolated atom but it occur only at the time of bond formation. मतलब ये है कि किसी भी एटम में अपने आप हाइब्रिडाइजेशन नहीं होगी. कोई भी एटम उस वक्त हाइब्रिडाइजेशन करेगा जब वो किसी के और के साथ बॉन्ड बनाने जाएगा. Now condition for the hybridization. First, only the orbitals present in the valence shell of the atom get hybridized. Second point, the orbitals undergoing hybridization should have only small difference in energy. The orbitals which differ largely in energy cannot take part in hybridization. Third point, central atom must have the half-filled orbitals equal to the number of bonds, single or double, formed by the central atom. And if it is not having that number of half-filled orbital, then electron can be promoted from lower orbital so as to make the required number of half-filled orbital. सेंट्रल एटम के पास उतने हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल होने चाहिए जितने कि उसने टोटल बॉन्ड बनाने हैं, चाहे वो सिंगल हो चाहे डबल हो. अगर उसके पास उतने हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल नहीं है तो सेंट्रल एटम अपने लोअर ऑर्बिटल से जिसकी शेल की वैल्यू सेम हो इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रमोट करके एम्प्टी ऑर्बिटल में भेजेगा ताकि उसके उतने हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल बन सके जितने उसने बॉन्ड्स बनाने हैं. Third point, the promotion of electron is not essential priority for the hybridization. That is, if the central atom already have half-filled orbitals equal to the number of single bond it is going to form, then there is no need for promotion of electron. मतलब ये है कि हाइब्रिडाइजेशन के लिए हमेशा इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रमोट किया जाए, ये जरूरी नहीं है। अगर किसी सेंट्रल एटम के पास उतने हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल पहले से ही हैं जितने उसने सिंगल बॉन्ड बनाने हैं, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रमोट करने की जरूरत नहीं है। और ये भी कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि सारे हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल हाइब्रिडाइजेशन में पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे। कुछ केसेस में सारे हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते, थोड़े ही ऑर्बिटल हाइब्रिडेशन में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, और वो हाफ फील्ड ऑर्बिटल जो हाइब्रिडाइजेशन में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते वो अनहाइब्रिडाइज्ड ऑर्बिटल कहलाते हैं। और ये हाफ फील्ड अनहाइब्रिडाइज्ड ऑर्बिटल किसी भी सेंट्रल एटम के पास जो होते हैं ये पाई बॉन्ड बनाने के अंदर हेल्प करते हैं। तो नाउ वी विल गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द फॉर्मूला टू कैलकुलेट द नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल of a central atom in a molecule. The formula is that number of hybrid orbital is equal to the number of valence electron in the central atom plus number of monovalent atom linked to the central atom. Monovalent atoms are those which are going to form only single bond, minus the value of positive charge. That means if a molecule is having positive value over it, then that value must be subtracted, and plus value of negative charge means अगर किसी मॉलिक्यूल पे नेगेटिव चार्ज है तो उतना नेगेटिव चार्ज हमें ऐड करना पड़ेगा, एंड द होल टोटल विल बी डिवाइडेड बाय 2 टू गेट द नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल। तो इस फॉर्मूले की मदद से हम किसी भी मॉलिक्यूल में या आयन में सेंट्रल एटम के पास कितने हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल हैं वो निकाल सकते हैं। वी कैन ऑल्सो यूज अनदर फॉर्मूला स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड। सो इन केस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल निकालने के लिए हमें दूसरा मेथड इस्तेमाल करना पड़ता है, the second method. But when the central atom is not using all of its valence electron in bonding, that is it contains lone pair, then we have to use the first method. So जो second formula हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं वो सिर्फ ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड के केस में ज्यादातर एप्लीकेबल होता है, पर अगर किसी सेंट्रल एटम के पास जितने भी वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन है, अगर वो सारे वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन वो बॉन्ड बनाने के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं करता तो जो बाकी बचे इलेक्ट्रॉन है वो एज अ लोन पेयर रह जाएंगे। सो ऐसा सेंट्रल एटम जिसके पास लॉन पेयर होते हैं, यानी उसने सारे वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन बॉन्ड में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं किए, वहां पे भी जो सेकंड फॉर्मूला हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं वो एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा। उसके में केस में हमें सिर्फ फर्स्ट फॉर्मूला ही लगाना पड़ेगा। तो जो सेकंड फॉर्मूला हम ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड के लिए करने जा रहे हैं वो इस तरह है, वो है कि इन केस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड द नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड विल बी इक्वल टू द नंबर ऑफ सिग्मा बॉन्ड फॉर्म्ड बाय द सेंट्रल एटम। अगर नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल चाहे फर्स्ट फॉर्मूले से निकाले जाए चाहे सेकंड फॉर्मूले से निकाले जाए, अगर नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल 2 आते हैं तो हाइब्रिडेशन sp होगी। अगर नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल 3 आते हैं, चाहे वो फर्स्ट फॉर्मूले से निकाले जाए चाहे सेकंड फॉर्मूले से, तब हाइब्रिडेशन sp2 होगी। अगर नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल 4 आते हैं तब हाइब्रिडेशन sp3 होगी। अगर नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल्स 5 आते हैं तब हाइब्रिडेशन होगी sp3d। और अगर नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल 6 आते हैं तब हाइब्रिडेशन होगी sp3d2, एंड इफ नंबर ऑफ हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल 7 आते हैं तब हाइब्रिडेशन होगी sp3d3। तो ये बात हमेशा याद रखें, तो हम हाइब्रिडेशन निकाल रहे हैं वो हमेशा सेंट्रल एटम की होती है। लेट्स डू द एग्जांपल by calculating the hybridization of carbon in carbon dioxide. Now as the central atom carbon has the electronic configuration 2,4, therefore number of valence electron in central carbon atom is equal to 4, and since oxygen atom is divalent, it is forming double bond, therefore we can take the number of monovalent atom in carbon dioxide is equal to 0, and there is no charge on carbon dioxide, therefore we will not add or subtract anything from the formula to calculate number of hybrid orbitals. Hence the number of hybrid orbital in carbon atom can be calculated by using the first formula which we have studied, that the number of valence electron in the central atom plus number of monovalent atom attached, and here the number of monovalent atom are 0 because oxygen is divalent, because here carbon dioxide is neutral, no positive or negative charge is present over here, so we are putting 0, and it must be divided by 2, and the answer is come to be 2. That means in case of carbon dioxide there are 2 number of hybrid orbitals, hence the hybridization of carbon atom in case of carbon dioxide is sp. Now let's use the second formula also, it can also be applicable here. Since in the molecule of carbon dioxide carbon is forming 2 sigma bond as shown in this structure, because we know that double bond always contain 1 pi and 1 sigma. So here carbon is forming 2 double bonds. That means it contains 2 sigma and 2 pi bonds. Therefore, the hybridization of carbon atom in carbon dioxide is sp because it has 2 sigma bond. Now the calculation of hybridization of nitrogen in ammonium ion. As the electronic configuration of nitrogen is 2,5, that means the number of valence electron in the center nitrogen atom is 5 and number of monovalent, that is hydrogen atom attached to center nitrogen atom, is equal to 4 because 4 hydrogen are present with nitrogen and hydrogen always form single bond, that is they are monovalent. Now since there is positive 1 charge over the ion, therefore to calculate number of hybrid orbital using the first formula, the number of hybrid orbital in nitrogen atom will be calculated as 5 valence electron plus 4 monovalent atom attached, and because positive charge is to be subtracted, so we are writing -1 here and the total is divided by 2 and the number of hybrid orbital in nitrogen atom is come to be 4. Therefore, the hybridization of nitrogen atom in case of ammonium ion will be sp3. Now we are going to study the step to write the explanation of a structure on the basis of hybridization. First we understand all the steps and then we do the practice by explaining the structures of some molecule on the basis of hybridization. The first step, that first of all we have to find the total number of hybrid orbitals, unhybridized orbital or lone pair of central atom by any one of the method which we have discussed, and depending upon the number of hybrid orbitals we can easily find out the hybridization. If the number of hybrid orbital is 2, the hybridization is sp. If the number of hybrid orbital is 3, then the hybridization is sp2. If the number of hybrid orbital are 4, then the hybridization is sp3. For 5, hybridization is sp3. For 6 hybrid orbital, the hybridization will be sp3d2. So after calculating number of hybrid orbitals, we have to calculate number of lone pairs. The number of lone pair can be calculated by using the formula that number of valence electron in the center atom minus the number of bond formed by it divided by 2. So we will find the geometry and bond angle on the basis of number of hybrid orbital, bond pairs and lone pairs. The bond pair is equal to the total number of bonds formed by the central atom and the lone pair equal to the number of pairs of electron which do not participate in bonding. If no lone pair is present and hybrid orbitals are equal to the bond pairs, that is number of bond formed, then for 2 bond pairs geometry will be linear when no lone pair is present with bond angle 180 degree. For 3 bond pairs when no lone pair is present, geometry will be trigonal planar with bond angle 120 degree. For 4 bond pairs and no lone pair, geometry will be tetrahedral with bond angle 109.5 degree. For 5 bond pair, geometry will be pentagonal bipyramidal with 3 bond angles 120 degree lying in one plane and 2 bond lying above and below the plane of 3 bonds making angle of 90 degree with these 3 bonds. All these things we have already studied in our BS EPR theory. But if lone pair is present along with bond pair, that is the number of bond formed, then geometry get distorted because lone pair or lone pair bond pair repulsion is more than bond pair repulsion. For example, if 1 lone pair and 3 bond pair are present, total number of bond pairs are 4. So geometry should be tetrahedral, but due to presence of 1 lone pair, it has distorted tetrahedral geometry, and in this case when 1 lone pair and 3 bond pair is present, then such geometry is called pyramidal geometry and bond angle will be less than 109.5. For example, in case of ammonia, it has 1 lone pair and 3 bond pair, therefore it has pyramidal geometry. In case of ammonia, the bond angle will be 107 degree. Similarly, if 2 lone pairs and 2 bonds pair are present, again here total number of electron pairs are 4. So it is also expected to have tetrahedral geometry with bond angle 109.5. But due to presence of 2 lone pair, it has distorted tetrahedral geometry, and when 2 lone pair and 2 bond pair are present, then that geometry is called V-shape or bent geometry with bond angle less than 109.5. For example, in case of water, there are 2 lone pairs and 2 bond pair are present. Therefore, in water molecule, the bond angle will be 104.5 instead of 109.5. So let's understand how we have to calculate number of hybrid orbital, unhybridized orbital, bond pair and lone pair, and hybridization geometry and bond angle in some molecules. First, in ethyne, having formula C2H2, the structure of ethyne can be represented like this. In this structure, each carbon is forming 4 bonds, 1 with hydrogen and 3 bonds between 2 carbon atoms. And we have already studied that in case of organic compound or molecule which contain 2 or more central atom, the first method which we have studied to calculate number of hybrid orbital will not work. In such case, we have to find total number of sigma bonds formed by the central carbon atom, and the number of hybrid orbital in organic compound is equal to the number of sigma bond formed by the central atom. In ethyne, it is clear from the structure that each carbon is forming 2 sigma bond. 1 sigma bond because of carbon hydrogen single bond, and 1 sigma bond present in the triple bond, because we know that triple bond always contain 1 sigma bond and 2 pi bond. So that means that in ethyne the central carbon atom is forming 2 sigma bond. Therefore in ethyne each carbon will have 2 hybrid orbitals. Therefore hybridization is sp, and because carbon having 4 valence electron and it is forming only 2 bonds, this means that 2 orbitals of carbon atoms will not participate in hybridization and called unhybridized orbitals, and these unhybridized orbitals are responsible for the formation of pi bonds in case of ethyne. Similarly, in ethene, having the formula C2H4, and the structure of ethene can be represented like this. So it is clear from the structure of ethene that in ethene each carbon is forming 3 sigma bond, 2 sigma bond present in 2 CH single bonds, and 1 sigma bond is present in the double bond, and we know that double bond always contain 1 sigma and 1 pi. Therefore in ethene each carbon is forming 3 sigma bond, 2 sigma bond in carbon hydrogen single bond, and 1 sigma bond is coming from the double bond. So therefore total number of sigma bond on carbon atom in ethene is 3. Therefore it has 3 hybrid orbitals, and the hybridization will be sp2 in case of ethene. And out of 4 orbitals, only 3 orbitals can take part in hybridization. That means 1 p orbital will remain unhybridized and is responsible for the formation of pi bond. In this case, the double bond will be formed due to this unhybridized p orbital. In ethane, having the formula C2H6 and the structure represented like this, it is clear from the structure that in ethene each carbon is forming 4 sigma bond, 3 sigma bond in 3 CH bonds, and 1 sigma bond from carbon-carbon single bond. And therefore in ethene each carbon will have 4 hybrid orbitals and hybridization will be sp3. Similarly, in case of BCl3, it is clear from the structure, it is clear from the formula that boron is forming 3 single bonds. That means there are 3 sigma bonds, and for 3 sigma bonds the number of hybrid orbital will be 3, and the hybridization of boron atom in BCl3 will be sp2. And since the number of single bond formed by boron is equal to its valence electron, that is 3, that means that boron use all of its valence electron in forming bond with 3 chlorine atom, and no electron pair will left over it, so it do not contain any lone pair. And due to presence of only 3 bond pairs and no lone pair in BCl3, the BCl3 molecule will has triangular planar geometry with each Cl-BCl bond angle equal to 120 degree. In case of methane, it is clear from the formula that the carbon is forming 4 bond with hydrogen atom. Therefore in methane there are 4 sigma bonds and hence have 4 number of hybrid orbitals. Therefore the hybridization of carbon atom in methane is sp3, and since the number of sigma bond formed by carbon in methane is equal to its valence electron 4, that means carbon utilizes all of its 4 valence electron in the bond formation with 4 hydrogen atom, and therefore it do not contain any lone pair and containing only 4 bonds, that is only 4 bond pair. So due to the presence of only 4 bond pairs in methane, methane has tetrahedral geometry with each HCH bond angle equal to 109.5. Let's understand the hybridization in case of ammonia. In case of ammonia, the second method which we are using to calculate number of hybrid orbital by just calculating number of sigma bond formed will not work here, because all the valence electron of nitrogen atom are not forming bond. So whenever in a molecule, if a central atom will not utilize all of its valence electron in the formation of bond, we will never use the second formula, that is, we will never calculate number of sigma bond. So in such case, we have to use the first formula to find the number of hybrid orbital, that is, the number of hybrid orbital is equal to valence electron plus number of monovalent atom attached divided by 2, because here no charge is present is over ammonia. So in case of ammonia, the center nitrogen atom will have number of hybrid orbital is equal to 5 valence electron on nitrogen atom plus 3 monovalent hydrogen atom attached divided by 2 is coming equal to 4. So, because the number of hybrid orbital are 4, therefore hybridization of nitrogen atom in ammonia will be sp3, and number of bond pair is equal to the bond formed by nitrogen, which is 3 here, and the lone pair is equal to number of valence electron minus bond pair divided by 2. So in case of nitrogen in ammonia, the valence electron are 5 and it is forming 3 bond divided by 2, therefore number of lone pair will be 1. Due to presence of 4 electron pairs, that is 3 bond pair and 1 lone pair, total is 4 electron pair, ammonia should expected to have tetrahedral geometry, but due to presence of 1 lone pair, ammonia is having distorted tetrahedral geometry called pyramidal geometry with H and H bond angle 107 degree instead of 109.5 degree. Similarly, in case of water, we will not use the second method, that we will not count the number of sigma bond, because here in water the central atom oxygen is also not utilizing all of its valence electron in the bond formation. So here also we will use the first method, that to calculate number of hybrid orbitals, that is the valence electron plus number of monovalent atom attached divided by 2. So for oxygen atom of water, the number of hybrid orbital will be equal to 6 valence electron on oxygen atom plus 2 monovalent hydrogen atoms attached divided by 2, and it is coming equal to 4. So because of 4 hybrid orbitals, the hybridization of oxygen atom in water will be sp3, and because oxygen is forming 2 bonds, that means the bond pair in water molecule is 2, and the number of lone pair in water can be calculated valence electron minus bond pair divided by 2, and the valence electron in oxygen is 6 and 2 bond pairs are present divided by 2. So in water molecule, the number of lone pairs on oxygen is come to be 2. Now due to presence of 4 electron pair, 2 bond pair and 2 lone pairs, water is expected to have tetrahedral geometry. But because of presence of 2 lone pairs, water is having distorted tetrahedral geometry called bent or V-shaped geometry with each HOH bond angle equal to 104.5 degree instead of 109.5 degree. Now after finding lone pair, bond pair and hybridization roughly, then we have to start writing the explanation. And during the explanation, the first step is, first we will write the ground state orbital electronic configuration of central atom, that electronic configuration which we represent in boxes. And if the central atom do not have the half-filled orbital equal to the number of bonds formed by it in the molecule, then the central atom promote electron from its inner orbital of the same shell so as to make the same number of half-filled orbital equal to the number of bond it is forming. And then we will write its excited state electronic configuration after the promotion of electron. But if the central atom already have the number of half-filled orbitals equal to the bond formed by it in the molecule, then promotion electron will not take place and we will not write the excited state electronic configuration. After writing the electronic configuration, ground state as well as excited state if present, we will write the number of s and p or d orbital undergoing or hybridization, which we already knowing previously by rough calculation. Then we will write the number of hybrid orbital overlap with s or p orbital of the another atom, and after that we will write the number of bond pairs and lone pair formed On the basis of these lone pair and bond pair, we will write the name of the geometry and the bond angle, and we will draw the structure by showing the bonding between hybrid orbitals and the orbitals of the other atom. In this way, we will write the explanation of a structure of a molecule on the basis of hybridization. So let's study the hybridization in various molecules one by one. First, sp hybridization. So when one s and one p orbital belong to the same main shell having the same value of n of an atom mixed together to form two equivalent orbitals, this type of hybridization is called sp hybridization, and the new hybrid orbitals are called sp hybrid orbitals. Note, sp orbitals has 50% s character and 50% p character. The orbitals which do not participate in hybridization and remain as such are called unhybridized orbitals. So let's understand the sp hybridization in case of ethyne C2H2, and we will understand how the single bond and triple bond is formed ethyne molecule. So in ethyne, the ground state electronic configuration of each carbon atom is 1s2, 2s2, 2p. See here now, because in ethyne carbon is going to form 4 bonds, but here only 2 half-filled orbitals are present, and we already have studied that the central atom must have the same number of half-filled orbitals equal to the number of bonds it is going to form. In order to satisfy its tetrabonding, that is to form 4 bonds, one 2s electron of carbon atom get promoted to empty 2p orbitals, so that the carbon will have 4 half-filled orbitals like this. So now the carbon atom is having 4 half-filled orbitals equal to the number of bonds it is going to form. This is called the excited state. Now we know that we already have calculated in rough work that in ethyne the carbon atom is having sp hybridization. That is only one 2s orbital and one 2p orbital will undergo hybridization. So we will write in this way that during the formation of ethyne, one 2s and one 2p orbital get intermixed to give two sp hybrid orbitals which adopt linear geometry around carbon atom, while the remaining two half-filled 2p orbitals remain unhybridized. So during the formation of ethyne, each carbon atom share its one sp orbital with other carbon atom to form carbon-carbon single bond like this. So this is a two sp hybrid orbital around one carbon atom. So both the carbon atom of ethyne share one sp or hybrid orbital with each other to form carbon-carbon sigma bond. The remaining sp orbital on each carbon atom overlap with 1s orbital of hydrogen atom to form 2 CH sigma bond with each carbon atom one by one. So that means in ethyne there are total 3 sigma bonds, one between two carbon atoms and one with one CH bond and another is with another CH bond. The remaining two half-filled unhybridized orbital of each carbon atom which do not participate in hybridization will be represented like this, and both of these are having half-filled electrons. So these will overlap sidewise to form pi character. So here half pi character above and half pi character below, that means one pi bond, and second one mix to give half pi character above and the half pi character below. That means the total number of pi bond will be 2. So that's why in ethyne the carbon-carbon is having triple bond, one sigma bond and 2 pi bonds. This is the final structure of ethyne, and from this structure it is clear that in triple bond there will be one sigma bond and there will be 2 pi bonds. Now let's write the explanation of structure of BeCl2 on the basis of hybridization. So first of all we could write the ground state electronic configuration of beryllium, which is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p orbital is empty, and from it is clear from this formula of BeCl2 that it is going to form 2 bonds. That means it must contain 2 half-filled orbitals. So beryllium will promote one of its 2s electron to empty 2p orbital, so as it will get 2 half-filled orbitals to form 2 bonds. Now we have already calculated separately in rough work that BeCl2 will have sp hybridization. That means one 2s and one 2p orbital get intermixed in case of BeCl2. So we are going to write that one. That In the formation of beryllium chloride, one 2s and one 2p orbital get hybridized to form two sp hybrid orbitals. So these two sp hybrid orbitals are oriented in a linear arrangement like this. Each of these sp hybrid orbital of beryllium overlap with 2p orbital of chlorine atom to form two BCl bond like this. And therefore BeCl2 is having linear geometry with each Cl-BeCl bond angle 180 degree. Now sp2 hybridization. So when one s and 2p orbital belong to the same main shell, that is having same value of n, often atoms mix together to form three new equivalent orbitals. This type of hybridization is called sp2 hybridization, and the new hybrid orbitals are called sp2 hybrid orbitals. Note, the sp2 orbitals has 33% of s character and 67% of p character. Now let's understand the sp2 hybridization in case of ethene molecule having the formula C2H2. In ground state, the electronic configuration of carbon atom is 1s2, 2s2, 2p, and in ethene each carbon is going to form 4 bonds, therefore it must have same number of half-filled orbitals. So in order to satisfy its tetravalency, that is to form 4 bonds, carbon will promote one of its 2s electron to 2p orbital and will get 4 half-filled orbital like this, which is excited state. And we already have studied in rough work that in ethene each carbon is having sp2 hybridization, that means one 2s and 2p orbital will undergo hybridization. So we will write the same like this, that during the formation of ethene, one 2s and 2p orbital get intermixed to give 3 sp2 hybrid orbital which adopt triangular planar geometry around carbon atom, while the remaining one half-filled 2p orbital remain unhybridized, and the triangular planar arrangement around carbon atom having sp2 hybridations like this. Now during the formation of ethene, each carbon atom, because both carbon atoms is having same hybridization, share its one sp2 orbitals with each other to form carbon-carbon single bond, that is sigma bond like this. Now each carbon is sharing its sp2 hybrid orbital with one s orbital of hydrogen atom separately to form 4 CH sigma bonds like this. All these are sigma bond. That means in ethene there are 5 sigma bond, 4 with CH and 1 in between carbon and carbon. Now the remaining one half-filled unhybridized orbitals on each carbon atom can be represented like this, will overlap sidewise to form pi bond like this. So it is clear from the picture that in case of ethene there will be one sigma bond between carbon atom and there will be one pi bond. So therefore in double bond there is always one sigma and one pi bond is present. So this is the final structure explaining on the basis of hybridization in case of ethene. Now we will explain the shape of BCl3 on the basis of hybridization. So the electron configuration of boron is 2s2, 2p1, and because it is clear from the formula of boron that it is forming 3 bonds, that means it must have 3 half-filled orbitals. So to account its trivalency, that is to form 3 bonds, it will promote one of its 2s electron to a vacant or empty 2p orbital and will have 3 half-filled orbital like this. And we already have calculated roughly that the hybridization in BCl3 will be sp2. So we will write here that during the formation of BCl3, one 2s and 2p orbital get hybridized to form 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals which adopt triangular arrangement around boron atom like this. And during the formation of BeCl3, each of these sp2 hybrid orbitals overlap with 2p orbital of chlorine, because chlorine is having last valence electron p orbital. That's why chlorine is going to form with the help of p orbital to form 3 bond like this. So each chlorine share its p orbital with the sp2 hybrid orbital of boron atom like this to form 3 BCl bond. And because boron is having 3 valence electron and it share all of its valence electron with chlorine atom, that means no valence electron remain on the boron. Therefore, it do not contain any lone pair. Therefore, the final structure of BCl3 will be trigonal planar with each Cl-BCl bond equal to 120 degree. And this is the final structure of BCl3 on the basis of hybridization. Now, sp3 hybridization. When one s and 3 p orbitals belonging to the same main shell, that is having the same value of n, of an atom mixed together to form 4 new equivalent orbitals of same energy, this type of hybridization is called sp3 hybridization, and the new hybrid orbitals are called sp3 hybrid orbitals. Note that sp orbitals has 25% of s character and 75% of p character. Now let's explain the sp3 hybridization in case of ethane. First of all, we write ground state electronic configuration of carbon atom, that is, it contains 1s2 2s2 2p, that in order to satisfy its tetravalency, that is form 4 bonds, carbon will promote one of its 2s electron to empty 2p orbitals to give 4 half-filled orbital like this, which is the excited state. And we already have calculated that in ethane hybridization of carbon atom is sp3, so we will write directly that during the formation of ethane 1 2s and 3 2p orbitals get intermixed to give 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals which adopt tetrahedral arrangement around carbon atom like this. And during the formation of ethane, each carbon atom, because ethane is contained 2 carbon atom, so both of these 2 carbon atom having same hybridization will share one sp3 hybrid orbital with each other to form one carbon-carbon single bond or carbon-carbon sigma bond like this. And the remaining 3 sp3 hybrid orbitals on each carbon atom overlap with 1s orbital of 6 hydrogen atom to form 6 CH sigma bond like this. So all these bonds are sigma bond, and because it do not contain any unhybridized orbitals, therefore there is no tendency to form pi bond. So that's why in ethane all the bonds are sigma bond or single bonds. So this is the final structure of ethane on the basis of sp3 hybridization. Now formation of methane on the basis of hybridization. First of all, we write the electronic configuration of carbon, and it will be 1s2 2s2 2p, and again in methane carbon is going to form 4 bonds, so it must have 4 half-filled orbitals. Therefore, it promotes one of its 2s electron to empty 2p orbital to give 4 half-filled orbital like this. During the formation of methane, one half-filled 2s and 3 2p orbitals undergoing hybridization to form 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals adopt tetrahedral arrangement around the carbon atom like this. And during the formation of methane, the carbon share each of its sp3 hybrid orbital with 3 hydrogen atoms like this. And therefore, in methane molecule, geometry is tetrahedral geometry with each HCH bond angle 109.5 degree, because it do not contain any lone pair. Only 4 bond pairs are present. So this is the final structure of methane on the basis of hybridization. The methane can also be represented like this. So this is the structure based upon BSPR theory, and this is the structure based upon the hybridization. Means when we have to explain the structure on the basis of hybridization, we have to make this structure. Now sp3 dehybridization in PCl5. So the ground state electronic configuration of phosphorus, it is clear from the structure that phosphorus is forming 5 bonds, so it must have 5 half-filled orbitals. So in order to form 5 half-filled orbitals, phosphorus promote one of its 3s electron to 3d. Because why it is going to promote on 3d? Because 3d's belong to the same shell like this. Now phosphorus is having 5 half-filled orbital, which is equal to the number of bonds phosphorus is going to form. And we have already calculated roughly that in PCl5 the hybridization is sp3d. That means that 1 3s, 3 3p and 1 3d orbital in case of PCl5 will undergo hybridization to give 5 sp3d hybrid orbitals, and which adopt pentagonal bipyramidal arrangement around the central phosphorus atom like this. Therefore, In PCl5, phosphorus share each of its 5 half-filled sp3 orbitals with p orbitals of 5 chlorine atoms to form 5 PCl bond and adopt trigonal bipyramidal geometry because it do not contain any lone pair like this. Here in PCl5, the 3 bonds lying in one plane having an angle of 120 degree each are called equatorial bonds, and the 2 PCl bonds, one lying above and one lying below the plane of these 3 bonds forming an angle of 90 degree with them, are called axial bond. So this is the final structure of PCl5 on the basis of sp3 dehybridization. Now shape of ammonia on the basis of hybridization. So the ground state electronic configuration nitrogen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So here in ammonia, nitrogen is forming 3 bonds and it already have 3 half-filled orbitals. That means there is no need for promotion of electron. And we already have studied roughly that in ammonia, the hybridization of nitrogen atom is sp3. So we will write directly that during the formation of ammonia, one fully filled sp, because here s is fully filled. So that's why one fully filled 2s and 3 half-filled p orbitals will undergo hybridization to give 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals, which adopt tetrahedral arrangement around the nitrogen atom like this. And during the formation of ammonia, the 3 half-filled sp3 hybrid orbital of nitrogen overlap with 1s orbital of 3 hydrogen atom to form 3 NH bond like this, while the 4th fully filled sp3 hybrid orbital do not take part in bonding because it already contains 2 electrons and act as a lone pair. So that means in ammonia the central atom is surrounded by 4 electron pair, out of which there are 3 bond pair and 1 lone pair. So due to presence of 4 electron pair, it should adopt tetrahedral geometry, but because of presence of 1 lone pair, it has distorted tetrahedral geometry called pyramidal geometry with H and H bond angle is 107 degree instead of 109.5. So this is the final structure of ammonia on the basis of hybridization. Now let's study the structure of water on the basis of hybridization. Now ground state electronic configuration of oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So here it is clear from the electronic configuration that water is going to form 2 bonds with hydrogen atoms and it already have 2 half-filled orbitals. So here again there is no need for the promotion of electron, and we roughly have calculated that in water the hybridization oxygen is sp3. The formation of water, 1 s which is fully filled and 1 2p which is also fully filled and 2 half filled 2p orbital get overlap to give 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals which adopt tetrahedral arrangement around oxygen atom. So here because the hybridization sp3, so here 1s and 1p are fully filled, but because hybridization sp3, that means both these s fully filled s and both this fully filled p is going to be participate in hybridization along with the half filled p orbital. Now these 4 sp3 hybrid orbital adopt tetrahedral arrangement on the oxygen atom as shown, and during the formation of water 2 half filled, because in bonding only half filled orbital will participate, so 2 half filled sp3 orbitals of oxygen atom overlap with 1s orbitals of 2 hydrogen atoms to form 2 OH bond as such, while 2 fully filled sp3 hybrid orbitals, and because they are fully filled they do not participate in bonding and will act as a lone pair. So in water the central oxygen atom is surrounded by 4 electron pairs, out of which 2 are bond pair and 2 lone pairs. So on the basis of 4 electron pair it should adopt tetrahedral geometry, but because of presence of 2 lone pair it has distorted tetrahedral geometry called V-shape or vent geometry with each HOH bond angle 104.5 instead of 109.5. So this is the final structure of water on the basis of hybridization. Learn and note down all important points and structure, study in this video and do written practice of this structure. In next video we will study the hydrogen bonding and its consequences. Please like and subscribe the channel for the latest update. Thank you.